Some people saw there's an east side corridor update. The Federal Highway, so FHWA, signed off on a purpose and need memo as well as our evaluation criteria. So a little bit of background on those, the purpose and need. The purpose and need statement explains why Steele County is undertaking the east side corridor project, as well as its objectives. The need identifies the transportation problems or deficiencies, and the purpose is a broad statement of the intended transportation results and other related objectives to be achieved by the proposed transportation improvement. So that was a big deal. The other was the evaluation criteria. So that will allow Steele County, the consultants, to start looking at the corridor alternatives and having a matrix to apply all of those locations against to finally select a location for the project. So those are two big first steps as part of the overall environmental document process, which Steele County and their consultants are looking to have completed by the end of the year, closer to the end of summer, beginning of fall. So, and then last, I don't know if anybody saw, but Greg Ilka, his county engineer, he's retiring. He's going to start going part-time in June and working, I think, part-time until they replace his position. So I just want to thank Greg for his service to the community. He's been a great help for me in my role. So hats off to him and wish him the best on a happy retirement.
Great, thank you, Sean. All right, that completes our staff reports. Now it's time for public comment. Anyone who's in the audience, now is your opportunity to speak. I ask that you come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to deliver their comments. Kevin keeps track of the time. At 1:45, he'll raise his hand, and I'd ask that you point up your comments then. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments, and the City Council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. And we already have somebody up there ready to go.
Hi, I'll try to speak fast forward. So I'm Gail Jorgensen, 249 East Main. I was here earlier today when you spoke about the comprehensive plan. And I would like you guys to keep in mind, because it wasn't a focus area, that the central downtown neighborhoods, around the library, where I live over at Pillsbury, they weren't represented with little parks. They weren't represented as a focus area because they're all intersecting in these focus areas. So the historic homes, pay attention to them. The ones that need help. And history is wider now. The historic homes, there's many wonderful mid-century homes in Owatonna. There's that dome house that's over by Mound somewhere. There's that great mid-century house on School, like 600 block of School. And a lot of the homes near me were all owned by women, well, they and their husbands, who were movers and shakers in Owatonna, especially this group of women. They were one-to-one in the parks. They were one-to-one in the right to vote. So these do need to have care, and with that new construction coming in, should fit the neighborhood. You don't need to be, I'm trying to watch my words here, but you don't need to be so strict with historic preservation that people can't live. Some of these historic homes probably will be duplexes for a while, and somebody down the line will buy it and turn it back to a single family, and it's going to be converted. Okay? So the other part of that is there needs to be parks for kids. My area has a lot of single moms. Schools more and more are going to have safety protocols that you can't just wander onto a school to use the playground equipment. So keep that in mind.
Thank you, Gail. And Gail brought up earlier this evening we did have the update on the comprehensive study that's being done for the city, and I would encourage people, there is an open house next week, May 16th down at OPU, and that gives you your opportunity to discuss those items if you want to talk about them. So thank you.
I want you guys to.
All right, anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak this evening? That was your opportunity. Yes, ma'am.
Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive. About a month ago, residents had a meeting with commissioners and county engineers, the kind of dialogue we had hoped for with both the city and the county. Currently, there is no preferred route for the east side corridor. The federal DOT now requires more data-driven studies on all 7 routes based on proposed need and evaluation criteria that were recently written and just approved yesterday. The studies will cover impacts like traffic, wetlands, noise, visual and text. Residents will have a chance to provide input before the preferred route is chosen, with the safety being the priority. Resident safety will not be addressed in the ongoing studies. These concerns include health and physical safety near highways, such as the increased risk of heart attacks, cognitive development, abductions, proximity, and accidents. Commissioners acknowledge this and vowed to veto options not addressing these concerns. Commissioner Kruger emphasized that safety impacts must be the forefront of their decision, while Commissioner Abbey pledged to make resident safety the top priority in determining the preferred route. Both agree that if the 29th Avenue route is preferred, it should be altered to protect residents. If mitigations are costly, alternative routes will be considered, prioritizing safety and financial responsibility. Mr. Ilka also noted that building a highway next to an existing neighborhood in Owatonna or Steele County has never been done before. He stated that 29th Avenue route can be adjusted, including design changes to further lower speeds and deviate from the mapped routes to create more space for safety. While we appreciate the constructive dialogue, it's disappointing that the City Council is not open to these conversations, yet has proceeded forward with development-driven future plans focused on outdated plans for the East Side Corridor, despite minimal stakeholder input. As residents who were only informed about one public engagement initiative where Imagine Owatonna had no knowledge of the East Side Corridor. This lack of transparency and responsiveness from our elected officials is concerning, and we hope for better engagement and consideration for residents' concerns and safeties in the future decisions.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak this evening? Yes, sir.
Tyrell Alistair Hunter, 2595 Mossy Creek Drive, and I would just like to speak to the map that was recently released, and just draw some attention to the fact that there is a public school being planned for development on a road that is potentially being discussed right now to be a major highway. So, if your children were in school and going to that school, would you want them attending a school right on a major highway? Or would you prefer that they be on something like where Washington is, where it's a 30 mile an hour road, and the speed limits are not very high?
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak this evening?
Good evening, Matt Stein, 2519 Stony Creek Drive. This evening I just wanted to bring to your attention some confusion that residents here in Owatonna are expressing over some references to 29th Avenue in Imagine Owatonna, and also some of the documentation that's now here with the 2050 Comprehensive Plan. 29th Avenue, as you are probably already aware, doesn't exist. It's actually one of the alternative routes that's being studied for the East Side Corridor project. One of 6 or 7 routes, I believe. So when residents see 29th Avenue in documentation, they wonder why that's being named specifically when the chosen alternative hasn't been named yet. 34th Avenue, which does exist, is one of the alternates, but that's nowhere in documentation, hasn't been in any of the Imagine Owatonna information or the comprehensive plan. So just wanted to communicate that point of confusion that some residents are having when they're reviewing some of this documentation. I'm just going to pass that along to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
homes, 995 Ridge Road. I spoke at the last meeting how important it was for homeowners with deer defoliation complaints to also make an effort to plant perennials and shrubs that deer don't like. But without making your yard less attractive for deer, no matter how many you cull, they're going to keep coming back if you set them a fake. I think I finally came up with a good answer, but you got to listen to the rest of this first. When we moved to Ridge Road 4 years ago, our homes would probably have been one of the homes with complaints. We lost a lot of plants. We replaced damaged plants with plants that deer don't like. And it's been 2 years, except for a little bit of host of damage, 2 years since we've had any damage at all. I put together for the city a list of 85 perennial shrubs and annuals that are usually not eaten by deer. The names of the plants are listed, and directly below it is a link that you can click on that tells you all about the plant on the internet. I hope this might be a help to homeowners with deer problems. There are also herbs that I put on here too that they don't like. I forwarded this to Jeanette, who will send it your way at some point, and hopefully it might be material for a pamphlet the city could use to help homeowners avoid deer damage. Now looking at this, I did not just want to go through internet material. I called and spoke to deer farms and some landscapers and got some, I think, good ideas. There are herbs that you can plant by gardens that deer absolutely hate. So if you have roses, peas, daylilies, tulips, green beans, pansies, and some other things that deer love, the trick is, and I'm surprised they shared it with me, plant a narrow line of mint, basil, or rosemary or anise along the border of your garden. These plants have an odor that deer hate, and you think, okay, I put basil on a pizza. What good does that do? Those herbs are dried. These are a whole different ballgame. The trick here is when you mow your lawn and are trimming around your plantings, gouge the basil or mint with your weed eater, and you'll be shocked at the smell that comes pouring out, and the deer hate it. The smell goes away in a few days for you and me, but the deer have it a long time after that, and the rain does not wash it away. It lingers around for a long time and acts as a repellent. I hope this might be something that people can try before going and hunting the city parks for my kids in 20. Just another option. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Gary. Thanks for doing that. That'll help a lot of people.
I think it'll be helpful. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Looks like not, so we'll move on to council comment. And first up tonight is Dave.
From Dad tonight.
Okay, Dan?
We have a new credit rating. Maybe Rhonda or Chris to speak to.
Yes, our credit has been recently upgraded to a AA1.
Which reflects a good job of our staff.
Right. And we're, there's only 2 greater Minnesota cities that have that high of a credit rating.
Nice job, staff.
That's a big deal. Thank you, Dan. Kevin?
I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Doug?
Yes, I'd like to just publicly thank Mayor Tom, Pastor Brett Carlson, and Pastor Nate Palmer for doing the National Night of Prayer last week here. It was a really good event, and we appreciate that you've done that year after year, so thank you for that. Also like to note that getting North Cedar is a pretty big deal for us to get fixed, and if we can make sure Deanna gets some stuff out on social media, maybe Annie will even write an article about it. So let people know that's going to get taken care of soon. Thank you.
All right, Nate?
Nothing to add.
Hey, Mayor?
Nothing to add.
Chris?
Nothing for me.
Okay, that comes to me. And I have an announcement I'd like to make this evening. As all of you know, I joined this council in 2011. And when I got on board, I thought if I could do a 10-year run and my constituents would support me and vote for me, that would be a good thing. And they did. I received so much encouragement over the years to be on the city council here. So my 10 years was up in 2020. Of course, we all know 2020 was a COVID year, so things were kind of in turmoil, and I had a lot of people come out and said, you need to stay on, we want you to run again, and I said, okay, but at the time I said, I will do that, but it'll be my last term. And I'm announcing tonight I'm sticking to that. I'm not going to run for re-election this year. Ward 2 is the most fantastic ward there is. I think Ward 2 has the highest turnout of voters in Owatonna, always has, percentage-wise. And there are a lot of good people. I've had, a lot of people have called me in the last month here wanting to know if I was running or not. And I said it's a big decision for me, but I have a lot of other things I want to do, and I've enjoyed every minute I've been here. But it's time for me to move on. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm not going to run this fall, so that the people that are in the board too have the opportunity to study it and see if they would like to do that. I encourage them to. Give me a call, or anybody here, give anybody here a call if they can tell you what this job is all about. And I know the board will come out with some great candidates. So that being said, thank you for that. So that's enough. So let's get out of here. We've been here a long time. So I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Kevin. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Guys do this to me all the time. Second by Nate. I know there's no discussion. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Or no?